supposed to be getting a new Spider-Man game in 2023, and obviously Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Venom, aka Eddie Brock's going to be in that game, and a lot of people are excited for it. I was excited when I saw the trailer, got goosebumps towards the end. But my question is whether or not at some point Venom's going to get his own game solely revolved around him, only because we got the Venom movie that came out back in 2018. We never got a video game that was based on the movie. But, for the most part, video game movies don't seem to do too well. But the movie itself was actually a massive box office success. And even though a lot of people said it was good, I've met a couple of people who said it wasn't that great, or maybe they're just not fans of the Venom character. But the movie managed to generate over $856 million in box office revenue. And it generated somewhat of a cult following in America. From 2018 onwards. Now, as far as Venom getting his own game is concerned, I have no idea whether or not it's going to happen a little bit later down the line, but we've gotten tons of Spider-Man video games dating all the way back to the early 90s, and to me, the most popular Spider-Man video games came out like in the 2000s for the most part, and when I mean like the 2000s, I'm talking about the two Spider-Man games that came out for the PS1 between 2000 and 2001, and pretty much those two games were really popular, even though like the graphics don't look really good and it didn't really age well. At its time 20 years ago, the game was actually pretty solid. It was something that a lot of people look back and have fond memories of. And then we got the Spider-Man games for the PS2 between 02 and 04, which received mostly good reviews from critics. And then we got the Web of Shadows games from 2008. So for most of the 2000s decade, I think Spider-Man was probably the main superhero that had pretty much decent games prior to the release of Dark Knight in 2008, because after that movie was released, we got nothing but good Batman games from 2009 onwards. We got the Arkham series, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then we got the third Arkham game, which came out back in 2015. And when we talk about like popular Spider-Man games, the most successful Spider-Man game of them all came out a couple of years ago, back in 2018, and that was for the PS4. Everything about that game was damn near perfect. It was nothing short of a masterpiece, and people have nothing but good things to say about it, from the movie score to the graphics to the level designs to the in-depth gameplay mechanics and voiceover acting and everything. Spider-Man 4 is probably the best superhero game of the past decade, and to me, it's pretty much the equivalent of what Batman Arkham City was in 2011. And I think nowadays, Spider-Man has somewhat surpassed Batman in terms of popularity as far as, I guess, mainstream media is concerned. Not to diminish, any of Batman's popularity, because there are people who are DC fans and Marvel fans, and they'll argue back and forth on, which superhero is the best and all. But it seems like recently, especially within the past couple of years, like Spider-Man, it was like on the same level in terms of being popular as Batman was during the late 2000s, early teens. And if, I guess, Sony decided to put out or Insomniac Games decided to put out a Venom game, I'm not quite sure whether or not it'll be anywhere as close as popular to the Spider-Man game from 2018, because that game ended up becoming like the second best selling PS4 game, and I believe it managed to reach over 13 million copies in terms of sales. So I doubt a Venom game will pretty much sell that much copies on a PS5 or Xbox Series X or what have you, but it'd be pretty cool if we did get a Venom game somewhere down the line. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, and I'm not sure if a lot of people within the gaming community want to see it happen, or if the demand's that high. But it would be pretty cool if that did happen at some point, having something that revolves solely around the character and just positioning him as an anti-hero in the story, and having a main villain I guess, and just all that stuff would be really exciting. But who knows what's going to happen a little bit later down the line. As it currently stands, a lot of people are currently focusing on the upcoming Spider-Man game that's supposed to be released for the PS5 on 2023, and I'm basically looking forward to hearing more information about this upcoming game.